Happy Tuesday.
Hello, I'm
Another
Josh Takimoto, by the way. What's your name?
I was doing so good all year. I made it to July to start canceling. I think that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. And I like I told you off air, and I'll say it on air too. Uh, I figure it's all good during the summer because it is your summer break. And as a teacher, this is like your Super Bowl. You look forward to this all year. You just gotta get to this point,
All
get
year.
recharged and refreshed, and then run it back in the fall. So
Yeah.
I expect you to take vacations and enjoy your summer. So
Well, and this summer, this is my rebuilding summer, I call it. So last summer I did a ton of traveling. Um, this summer is just a little bit of traveling, more working, but I'm enjoying it so far. No, but it's kind of like the little travel that I do get to do. Because in my head, I'm telling myself I'm not doing anything this summer. I'm just working. And I mean, obviously, like within reason, like I can let myself rest, but I'm not going anywhere. But then, so when I do get to go somewhere, like even if it's a day trip or something short or over the weekend or just a day to do nothing, I'm like, I'm winning. This is great.
there you
so,
go.
so it feels good.
Good. What have you been doing recently?
Um, so I was in Tahoe for a concert with
Very
my girl.
nice.
That was planned a long time ago because we stayed. I don't know anyone listening who's familiar with the Tahoe area, but the amphitheater that's by Harvey's. Is it Harvey's? I get it mixed up.
I think
Anyway,
so.
yeah. So the across the street from it is base camp,
Hmm.
and it's super hard to get into that hotel. And so we planned it, I don't know, like a year ago. So we stayed there. So it worked out great. So
Nice. You just know people.
yeah.
It's like you does a room at base camp.
My friend. Yeah, exactly. My friends are good planners. I just go along for the ride. I'm just like, tell me where to go and when to show up and who to Venmo, and I'll be there.
That makes sense. This sounds like one of those situations where they all get together. It's like, let's just make this as simple for Deb as possible. Just make it very neat and concise. We'll do everything else, and then she'll show up for sure if we can do that.
I mean, basically,
There you go. It's good for you.
it's a win for me.
That's right.
Yeah, I've just been doing short trips. I've been doing some hiking. I've just been nothing, no out of country trips, although I wish I were going out of the country, but just very like low key things. So it's been nice.
Very cool. And then you go nuts next year.
That's the plan. We'll
Very
see.
nice. Very nice.
In the
Who did
fall, if
you?
the fall rolls around, I'll try to start planning.
There you
Yeah.
go. Or your friends will plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
You'll just save the money to get it done.
Mhm. Yeah.
Speaking of money, how's your massage school going?
It's good. I will be done Labor Day in terms of like my required hours. So that's approaching in a few months. And then my extended hours continue. So I'm trying to specialize in something now. So I'm trying to take those extra classes to get that like extra certification. Um, it's called orthobionomy. I had never heard of it. I don't expect anyone to know what that is, but it's basically it's just another modality for pain management. It's like very slow and gentle and subtle movements of the body. It's kind of like the opposite of deep tissue.
Hmm.
So go in for deep tissue and like some medical massages, and it can be I don't want to use the word painful, but it could be like maybe like uncomfortable because you're trying to work out a certain area of the body, but then it releases and so orthobionomy is kind of like the opposite of that. And there's no right or wrong technique or anything, but I took one of those classes and I'm like, I kind of like this. Let me
Huh.
see take more of these.
Okay.
Um, so anyway, that's my massage shenanigans. So
Very
yeah.
cool. Now, have you had to reorder the giant container of lube, or are you still good? You using it sparingly?
I mean oil.
Oh no, I knew what I said. Nicole came on this podcast when she came on however many weeks ago, and she very specifically said lube. So
Say
you can
lube.
say whatever you want. You can say oil. You can say any like scientific thing that you want to say, like the chemical that it actually is, does not matter because what she said will forever be stuck in my mind. So thanks,
Yeah.
Nicole.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Nicole does. That's her job. I still have lots of it. It goes a little bit, goes a long way. So it's like,
Okay.
if I'm not giving a Swedish massage, I'm not using it. Like if people have their clothes on and I'm doing some orthobiotomy stuff, I'm not using it. So yeah, it goes a long way. I have tons of it left. It might go bad before I use it all. So yeah, that was a smart move on my part.
Okay. Uh, Good for you. No, you got the right amount of lube. So okay, well listen, I wasn't gonna bring this up. Okay, so there's different types of massages. You mentioned if they still have their clothes on.
Mhm.
Okay, so is like I guess I didn't realize 'cause I don't know anything about massages. I've never had one. I've just it's not really my thing. So is there like certain types where it's optional, or are there certain types where like clothes, like in order for me to do this properly, you have to have like the minimal amount of clothes? Does that make sense? I'm trying not to make that question sound creepy, although I
Yeah,
have so many jokes, but
I, I imagine.
yeah, I'm
If
not going to do it this time.
just wait for Jordan to come on and then you guys can both just give it to me. But
No, probably not.
I always say undress to your comfort level if it's Swedish. Some people like don't want to
What does that
like
mean? The Swedish?
Swedish is just like relaxing. It's with oil. It's just a relaxing massage. Like sometimes I'll get some deep tissue in as well, but it's Swedish. There's some effleurage techniques, which was like going like just a smooth motion like down the part of the body.
Okay,
So
so it's like
you
that's like a relaxing spa type situation,
yeah,
and like
relaxing.
deep tissue is like we have work to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do deep tissue with oil too. It like helps. Yeah, that helps as well. So that is,
Hmm.
it's, I mean, it's very flexible. Massage is the modalities are flexible. So, but if I'm going to do acupressure is normally close on because I'm not doing um, the types of pressure and effleurage as Swedish. Acupressure is pressure points, like acupuncture, obviously with no needles, but like there's pressure points on the body, and I'm not necessarily needing to do skin contact. You can do it over clothes and it can have the same effect. Orthobiotomy, you don't need oil at all. Like that's not, you don't, it's just I'm basically kind of doing physical therapy type moves. I'm not saying it is physical therapy because that's not what I'm in school for, but like I'm basically picking up a body part like your arm or your leg and moving it.
Hmm.
So like there's no need for oil or your clothes off for that. So there's definitely so many, I'm learning a lot. There's different types
Sure.
of like like when people think massage, they think like spa, like oil and like, skin on, on your skin and like clothes off. But there are so many different kinds that there's actually a lot where a lot of my instructors who have their own practice, they tell me that their clients keep their clothes on for their
Sure.
massages. So it works in whatever way. Cupping obviously is skin on skin, but
It'd be funny if you just try to cup someone with a shirt on.
it wouldn't quite work the same
It's like,
way.
are you
No.
sure? This is how, yeah, just be quiet. I went to school for this. You did not. I can cup you with your hoodie on. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
There's like all these circles on the person's clothes. It's like, well, you owe me $30 because you just ruined my shirt.
Yeah, I pay them to let me massage them, to let me cup them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So those are the differences, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, like I said, because I knew I've heard that quite a bit too, where I think again, you kind of assume that if you're not familiar with that world, you kind of assume that it's without the clothes, right? Or I've heard people say to your comfort, but I have heard a decent amount of people say that most of the time they do it with their clothes on still. And so yeah, it is very interesting that you can get the same result in all of these different ways, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, what's the feedback been like for you? Because I mean, I'm assuming you've been pretty busy because you posted a decent amount of the different openings you have and the
Mhm.
um, prices and all that stuff. So what's the feedback been like from the people?
I'm fired from all of them
I was like,
already.
oh, do you have a future in this or not?
I mean, good. I mean, I don't ask for feedback. I'm not like, how was that? I just ask how they feel. Like, you feel like, how are you feeling? Okay.
I don't
I
know.
don't
So I'm sorry. It was just the way you said that was funny to me. Like, how was that? Kind of like just very monotone. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Did it feel good? Did it not? Just, I don't know. Just tell me. Sorry.
exactly.
Sorry. It just, I don't know why the way you said that.
Well, and I just got like right before we hit record, I just got done being with my high school kids for volleyball. So I'm definitely in monotone yelling mode, and not in a bad way. They're great kids, but
Sure.
I'm yeah, my voice is like more customer service-ish doing massages. It's very nice, much nicer.
Very much nicer. Man, you know, maybe we shouldn't have recorded today. It's very much nicer. All right. Go ahead. I'm going to stop making fun of you.
I thought you were drinking a beer just now.
The way this podcast is going, I may start. No,
Like a Bud Light. When you
just, can
anyone
you
watch my
imagine?
didn't it look like a Bud Light for a second? Just for
Uh,
I know it's not.
did it?
Okay. Just like the way like turn it more to your right, I guess. Yeah, like me, like I don't know. I saw red and I'm like, is he drinking a Bud Light? But I know
Were
that
you
you don't
jealous?
a little bit.
A little bit. No, it's just some optimum nutrition amino energy with electrolytes.
Nice. Very cool.
It's delicious. That would be funny though, because I mean, we've had enough of these conversations. Kind of, excuse me. Maybe I have been drinking. I can't speak. We've had enough of these conversations where I think it's well known on this podcast that I don't drink at all. But that would be funny if I just started without mentioning anything, just started drinking on the podcast. It's like, is he not going to bring this up?
No, I will definitely say something.
Sure. Nope. Just some watermelon. It's delicious. This is really good. It says sugar free. I don't believe them.
I mean, it probably has the fake sugar in it. That's probably what they mean, sugar free.
Maybe doesn't matter. It tastes delicious. So
Yes.
yes, that's what I'm drinking. But
Cool.
what were you saying before I interrupted you and then you
I,
interrupted me?
in my monotone voice, I ask, how was that? No, I don't ask for feedback. I've had some people rebook with me, so I guess that's good. Um, yeah. So I just kind of people grab what they can, and I put my schedule out there, and I'm grateful for anyone who lets me practice on them. And it's nice.
People
It's
grab what they can. Hopefully Deb doesn't just do the same thing. It's like, I don't know, squeeze here, rub here. Your your 30 minutes is up. Get out of here.
oh, so yeah. So it's going good.
It would
It's
be as much as I joke, I have no doubt that you are probably very good at this, and because what you've mentioned on this podcast before, the way your mind works, where your interest lies, right in the body, you know, the makeup of the body, the muscles, bones, all that stuff. So I have no doubt that you probably, you know, took to this like a mermaid in the water, and so I imagine that you are probably pretty good at what you're doing. But it would suck to go to someone that was newer to this and if they weren't very good, because like you're going to be able to figure it out pretty quickly because you're interested in it and all the different aspects of it, right? But if someone's like, I'll give it a shot, you know what I mean, and then they try to do it and they're just not very good at it, they don't understand the mechanics of it and all that, like that would be so disappointing to sit there for 30 minutes to an hour and just think, I'm not even sure what they're doing back there. Like, are you just touching me like poke, poke, poke? Like, what are we? What am I? Why am I paying this much money for this? Like, it would really suck.
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And like you can tell because as soon as it's like energy on energy, like as soon as like if it's when I'm receiving too, like from in my classes when we practice on each other, it's not often because a lot of them are comfortable with it and they like it too and they know what they're doing. But you can tell when someone is just hands on, hands on you and they're kind of moving and you're like, I don't think they have like you have to have an intention of like what your job is and like what you're
Sure.
trying. So yeah, you can feel it. So I
Yeah,
definitely
there was you know, anytime I go get my hair cut, you know, I usually have them like wash my hair out, which there's not after they cut my hair, there's not much there, but it feels nice. And they usually do like the temple massage, which always feels really good, in the scalp massage. But I will say, this one lady who was super bizarre, and I never went back to her because she just was weird, and I just couldn't get a good read on what she was doing or what she was talking about. She kept trying to sell me products. Usually they'll say like, "Hey, do you need any of this?" And I say no, and we're good. She just kept trying to push these products. I'm like, I don't know how many more times I can tell you. I'm not going to buy this, but thank you though. And so we go back. She's doing the hair washing, and she puts the warm towel over my face, and she's like massaging my head. And then I think she got distracted because like I was there for a very long time. Like usually there's kind of like a standard time that you're there at the hair washing station. I was there for a very long time. And she just was kind of like, you can kind of feel like her hands go like this, and then like less and less. Like, is she still here? And then pretty soon her hands started going from the top of my head down to the sides. I'm like, that's normal. But then it starts going under the towel on my eyes before she starts rubbing my eyeballs in a circular motion. So now I have like soap in my eyes. Like, what is going on? She's like, oh, and then you can tell like by her hands, like the way they went away. She's like, oh, oops. Yeah, you were cleaning my eyeballs. You were just rotating my eyeballs, circular motions, very, very calmly. And just like then I'm like, oh, so there's so much soap in my eyes. I never went back there. It was very bizarre. Soap in my face. My shirt was wet. It was a very bizarre circumstance. But yeah, I'll never forget that. She like was massaging my eyeballs. So
She's definitely distracted, looking somewhere else. Was it both hands? Was she like on her phone, maybe with one hand and like one
no,
honey hand?
I had soap in both eyes. I had her thumbs, my two eyes rubbing in circular motions.
How do you not? How do
And
you
for
not
me,
do that?
I'm trying not to laugh because I'm like, I don't know if she knows what she's doing, but I'm like, my body's like shaking so hard because I'm trying so badly not to laugh, but I just can't help myself. It was weird. Another lady. So I have these little like things on top of my head. I had one removed. It's like a little like a benign like cyst. It's like a bump on my head. I had one removed a couple years ago. There's one further back that it can't be removed yet because it needs to get a little bit bigger. And so pretty soon here I'll probably have that one removed too. Nothing serious, but anytime I get my hair cut, they hit it with the clippers, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what did I just do?" I said, "Don't worry about it. I can't feel it. You're fine." It's like, "Oh, okay." Now, there's other lady who I've never gone back to. It's a different lady, but she was really bizarre too. She spent the whole time talking about her plants, which I tried my best to stay interested, but it's like, I don't need to know anything about this plant situation that you have going on, or why your ex-husband didn't do a good job watering the plants. Like it went down this whole story that I was not interested in. I just wanted her to cut my hair. And so again, going back to the hair washing station, she, my face is covered, and she's, washing my hair, and then I feel her stop, and she taps it. So what is that? And she starts poking it. Not once did she say anything about it. Usually they say like, "Oh, what is that?" Or "I'm sorry, did I hurt you?" Not once. She treated it like a frog she was dissecting in science class. And I'm like, okay, that was weird. So she starts massaging my head, and then she goes back to it. Tap, 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 tap. And she's like poking it, trying to figure out what it is. Like never once, not once did she ask me, "What is that?" No, she poked it 2 or 3 more times. And she just could not let it go. It's like, what is this thing? Nah, I'm going to let it go. Nope. Got to go back. Tap, 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 tap. And just like squeeze it a little bit. I mean, she was like playing with this thing in my head like it was a joystick. And I'm like, and again, I'm trying not to laugh. And the only thing that was going through my head is like, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast when the time is right.
I was just picturing it. I'm sorry.
No, you should. Because the way I'm describing it is exactly how it happened. And I can just see her looking like, what is that? But usually, like I said, usually they ask me, not her. She's like, I'm gonna figure this out myself.
I was gonna say to not, I mean, to kind of feel around and touch it is one thing, but like to not say anything, that's like when I'm massaging someone, and even if I come across a scratch on someone's body, I'm like, oh, you have a scratch here. Or like, I just kind of let them know just so they don't think I did it, and a
Sure.
bruise, whatever, or a bump. I always say, hey, is this okay? Can I touch this? Because
Sure.
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the right thing to do.
I always ask them beforehand, what do you can do? What is something I can't, touch? Like, is there something on your, like, sometimes they're like, oh, careful of like my right big toe. I broke it last year. Like, just don't put, like, they'll just like, I don't know, just exhibit.
You imagine they're just like,
And
ah.
so when they say that, not to take over what your story, but like when they say the right or left side, so I have them face down and then I flip them face up, and I have to concentrate so hard. Okay, which was the right side? Like
That makes sense.
on one side of the body, and then they flip over. So I just, anyway, that's always a hard one for me. But
That makes sense.
yeah, anyway, but that is bizarre for her to not say anything. And did you
Yeah,
feel
I don't remember most of the people I go to. I don't remember their names. There's been a couple. I'm like, I know your name, And anytime I see you working, I'm not going there. It's not a fun experience for me.
You need one person. You need like a, do you go to just a place
I
and
just
you
go
know,
like sports clips. It's nothing fancy. You know what I mean? Because my haircut's not fancy. I've thought, and actually the last couple of times I cut my hair, I did it myself.
oh, nice.
Yeah. And then Rachel helps me because I can't see in the back. So she helps me finish it up. And then she starts poking at it. She's like, what is that thing? I'm just kidding.
At least she asked you.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. She's very well aware of that bump in my head. But yeah, I've had this conversation with the different people that have cut my hair over the years. I'm like, if I was to do something different with my hair, like if I was trying to mix it up a little bit, because it's pretty straightforward to keep it short. Like what would you suggest? And sometimes they're like, I don't know, like, well, that was not helpful. You're getting less of a tip. And then another person, I'm just kidding. I tip well, no matter what, except for the lady who poked my head. I'm like, you're gonna get a little bit less because
Poked
you
your
made this thing
eyeballs.
uncomfortable.
Is that the same lady who poked your eyeballs?
No, two different people, two different stores. Um, both haven't seen my hair again because I don't trust them. But no, so yeah, maybe one of these days I'll try a different haircut. I don't know, but it's tough. My hair, it's one of those things where it's like the idea sounds nice, but then like the process in getting there is the challenge because you have to really like. One lady's she's like, if you want to do this, it's like I have some ideas, but you're gonna have to let your hair grow like an uncomfortably um long. I'm like you know what I mean, like the length is gonna be pretty long for you, what you're comfortable with. So like if you're down to do it, we can try some different stuff, but she's like, it's gonna, you're gonna have to be okay with that. I'm like, well, we'll see. I was not. I cut my hair.
Like I'm not doing this.
Yeah,
Just
it's tough. It's tough, you know.
yeah.
Anyways.
I'm actually due to get my hair cut tomorrow.
Oh,
My hair,
look at that. Timely.
it's in a ponytail, so you can't see. Well, maybe you can't see. It is stupid long right now. It is like when it's down, I swear it's to my belly button. Like not
Really?
yeah, it's ridiculous. And I like it long. I just don't like the split ends, and that's what I'm dealing with here. And then like my like shampoo, whatever kind of shampoo and conditioner I use, doesn't matter if it's cheap or the most expensive kind, but it starts getting buildup in my hair because my hair's so long. So I like texted my hair girl an emergency text yesterday because I was supposed to be due to get it cut in September. I'm like, yeah, no, we can't. No, I need it like ASAP. So can you please squeeze me in? So I'm getting,
Very
and
nice.
mine's easy. It's just like a trim and a relayer and that's it. But the way I go to the same hair girl, the way she makes it, I need to figure out how to do this every day. Still haven't figured it out. I've tried to use similar products that she uses, but it's like the shiniest, softest thing ever after she's done with it, and I can never replicate it. But yeah, I know. So that's why I go to her, and she does a good cut. It's very easy, very quick. But
But still, the person, she knows your hair. It's all worth it. I don't have that in my life right now. Partially because if my hair was different, if I had a different haircut, maybe I would. You know what I mean? Because I see it all the time, like these people that go to the same barber and they just have this working relationship. It's nice. I don't really need that, you know.
yeah.
But one of my aunts, my great aunt, I guess, cuts hair, and so we used to go to her all the time when we were younger, and she would do our hair.
Nice.
And yeah, she has I don't think does she still have a shop in Sacramento? I can't remember. She used to have a shop. She had a shop in Sacramento for a long time. And I'll never forget. And I still bring this up to her and she doesn't believe me, but I know for a fact this is true because it happened to me. She was cutting my hair. And so when she would cut our hair, my mom would stand there and talk to her, catch up on all the family stuff. And there was this one time where I was in the chair, she was cutting my hair. And she was really ranting to my mom because my uncle what messed up somehow. He did something that made her really upset. And so she was cutting my hair aggressively. And she, at one point, she's like, snip, 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 snip. Got the top of my ear, just a little slice. Like, oh, that was my ear. And I never forget, there was like this red line that went across my ear. It didn't like cut through, but like there was definitely some blood there. And I said, Mom, you cannot talk about my uncle with her while she's cutting my hair. Because if he messed up, the rest of us pay. Especially when the scissors are in her hand. We cannot do this a dangerous situation. So I told her that a couple years ago at Christmas. She was shocked. Like, I don't believe you. I said, it's true. It's true. It happened. I'll never forget it. You're lucky I got back in the chair with you because it was such a traumatic experience, but I survived. I'm still here. But yeah, that's
Wow.
it's the only time we've really gone to like a stylist that, we like continuously went to the same person.
Yeah. Until she
Yeah.
cut your or tried to cut your hair off.
That's a possibility too. I never really made her mad, but she could have, I could have said the wrong thing at one point. I could have said, I love my uncle. And she's like, not today. I'm going to slice your ear off. So who knows? You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Well, and then like you said, like letting your hair grow out long, you're like, I don't know if I want to. It's the opposite with me. Like I've donated my hair twice in my
Okay.
life, had it really short. I've regretted it both times, not in the sense that I donated it, but in the sense of how my short hair looked on me and how, and like in my head, I'm like, oh, it'll be easier to do. It's short. And it's like, no, it's not easier to do because it's my hair looks straight-ish because it's long and heavy, but when it's short, my hair is actually naturally like wavy. So
Hmm.
it poofs up and it looks like a big cotton ball. It's all bad. And then my face shape doesn't look good with short hair. And then I end up having it in a ponytail all the time. It's all bad. So I'm
I'm
like,
gonna be honest with you. The way you describe that sounds awesome. I think that would be fantastic for the podcast. A cotton ball?
it just like what the way it dries when it's short because it's not so heavy,
Sure.
not so long, like it dries differently because I try not to blow dry. I don't want to put heating products on it. I just kind of let it do its thing sometimes. But it just in the past, like the way it dries is just it gets shorter than what it actually, yeah, no, it's all bad. It
All right.
just doesn't work for me. So I'm like, I want to donate again because I want to help, but my mental health over the next course of months that's going to grow it back is not going to be good.
Yeah,
So
probably best not to do that then.
it's going to keep it long and trim it. But
There you go. Well, we spent a very long time on hair. Was not expecting to go down that rabbit trail.
there you go. Well, what else have you been up to this summer so far?
Let's see. So we actually, I think we were in Tahoe maybe the week before you were, I think. Um, yeah, there with Rachel's family, and was up there with a bunch of her sister, her two sisters and their families and all of that. So a lot of little kids running around. Um, and I've said it before, and I feel very confident in saying this. I'm a fun uncle. It's like I'm like constantly scrapping with those kids, especially like a couple of the boys that are in the family. They just want to fight all the time, and so I'm like, all right, here we go.
So
So
yeah.
luckily, I grew up with two younger brothers and a younger sister who grew up with three brothers. So she's fine throwing a punch. It's a normal thing, and so a lot of that the kids had a lot of fun, and so it was a little cooler up there, but not horrible. Um, but yeah, we did that, and then other than that, it's just been not a whole lot. It's been a pretty quiet summer, which I'm
Nice.
okay with. I haven't gotten out on the paddleboard yet, but
I haven't either, and I'm not okay with it. So I need to
I'm
get
not
the
either. I see it in my garage all the time. I see the big bag there, and I'm just like, I got to get out there. And then anytime I pass, the aquatic center or on Hazel or, by somewhere in Folsom Lake, I see a bunch of people out there. I'm like, man,
yeah,
I need
gotta
to
get
get out there because
done.
it's been a while. And it's one of those things. I don't know. It's one of those things for me. It's just harder to get out there sometimes. As much as I love it, and I know like this is when I love doing it the most. It's just tough sometimes to make the trip out there.
Yeah. The only time I've been on the water so far this summer was on 4th of July. I was in Reno. I'm actually dating someone from up there, so there's a new
Oh,
thing. And
very
that's
nice.
all I'm gonna say about that because I jinx everything every time I talk about it. So I'm dating someone that lives in Reno.
Guys, okay, I'm gonna time out real quick because I'm glad that we had this conversation now because I feel like in the past I told Jordan this the other day. I said every time I feel like I ask you a certain line of questioning and then you reveal that you're dating someone, it's like I wish I wouldn't have asked those three questions because I feel like out of context, you know what I'm saying? It's like I wish I wouldn't have done it. So
No, I did it without you asking. Is that what you're saying?
which part? Dating someone?
Yeah. Like I said it without you asking, or you regret ever asking me. Maybe that's why it's your fault. You jinx
No,
it.
I
So
guess I regret because, like I said, we've talked about this before. I don't ever ask you when's the last time I said, "Hey, you
no,
dating anybody?"
no, you
It's
don't.
never happened, and it never will. But that being said, the downside of that is like I'll ask some dumb questions about like somebody that you dated or these past situations, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm dating someone. It's like, well, I wish no one would have asked that question, just in case the person listens to the podcast and that's like you haven't had those certain conversations with them. It's like, well, now they know that story. Oops.
Everyone knows I'm an open book. Everyone knows my stuff. But anyway,
There
so
we go. So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, the downside of me not being more interested in your personal life.
fine, side, whatever, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
But
good
I
for
went,
you.
yeah. Well, we went, I call it rafting, but it was floating, but it felt like rafting to me because we got inner
Okay.
tubes and the river up there, it's the Upper Truckee River, I think is what it's called. Um, like the day before we went out there, I went and looked at the water and I'm like, we're floating down that. Like, and it's like pretty like it's going.
Aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never done that. I've just done paddle boards up here in Folsom where it's like calm, there's not really a current. There's like maybe
Right.
the kind of pushes you along,
That's
you know.
it.
That's it. Yeah. So there was a current here. But so yeah, so in my head I'm like, what? But then I'm like, they do this all the time. So just stop being a chicken and just let it happen, I guess. I'm like, let's just do it.
So you want to be a mermaid, huh? Let's figure it out.
I'm into some rocks, okay? No, it
That's what
ended
they
up
do all the time.
that's true.
I don't know. I'm not a mermaid expert.
That's great. It was really fun. So it's been my only water experience this summer. It was a blast. We were out there for 3 hours. It was actually really fun. Like I
Awesome.
felt like I was on a ride at Disneyland.
That's what it
Going,
sounds like. The way you described it. Yeah, it sounds like Splash Mountain.
yeah.
So
So that's been my only water adventure, but I haven't gotten my paddleboard. There was one person actually out there on the paddleboard on the floating rafting. And
really,
everyone was like, we told you not to bring your paddleboard out here. But he did pretty good. Like he kept up. I think he fell in a few times, but yeah, it was not very convenient with all those rocks out there, but
no,
yeah,
and you don't have much control over falling there either. It's kind of tough.
exactly. But anyway, so that was fun. Um,
Nice.
I need to go get out on the water some more though.
Yeah, well, especially this upcoming weekend. It's gonna be very hot again.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, very toasty. But yeah, no, I've been on the slip and slide a couple times.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been
With
awesome. What'd you say?
your kids or by yourself, you and Jordan?
I mean, they were there.
They were there. They're just watching you.
It's
You're
always
like,
silly too because like if they're playing on the slip and slide, it's like, hey guys, scoot over. Daddy's gonna slide real quick. It's a silly thing to say, but it's true. I don't want them to be in the way as I slide through because I don't want them to have this like horrible fear of this big guy just coming out and taking their legs out. You know what I mean? So, but yes, it's been fun, just like normal. Not a big deal, but I put like a long piece of turf, like astroturf, underneath it, so it like eliminates all the like the rocks and stuff that you could hit in the grass. It's been awesome. You can just slide down that thing with reckless abandon. It's awesome.
nice.
So twice already. So it's like I've said this on this podcast multiple times. I love it, and it doesn't feel like summer unless I get a chance to do it. So I've been out there, and it's been awesome.
Nice. Now you just got to get your paddleboard out and you'll be set.
I will be set. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
When is it going to happen? I have no idea, but I do. Yeah, I do enjoy going out there.
This weekend will be good. It's going to be hot out there this weekend.
It's a good point. I'll see. I don't know if it's probably not going to happen this weekend. I'll be honest with myself. It's probably not going to happen. It sounds nice. Probably not going to happen.
Well, from the rate of like the Sacramento weather, the past few years, it stays summer well through September and October. So you're good. You've got plenty of time.
It's true. That's
Fine.
what when you and I did the our Halloween episode where we dressed up in our costumes, it was very warm because it was still warm outside. And I'm like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is gonna be brutal in this Mario costume.
I feel like even the month of June is like still cool and it doesn't get hot until now, like
Right.
mid-July. and then it stays hot, and then like mid-October it kind of starts cooling down, and I think it doesn't get cold until November, mid-November. It's crazy.
Right. So yeah, just what we deal with here, which I'm okay with, because like I've said before, I like the warm weather. So
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. But yeah, eventually we'll get out on the paddleboard and do that, because I do miss it. But I was gonna ask you something. Oh, where are we at with TV shows? What are you watching right now?
What
It's
am I
been a minute since we talked about this, so gotta catch up with the people.
I'm not home enough to watch any TV shows other than have Sex in the City play in the background while I'm doing things. So
Okay, I'm sorry. The way there was a little bit of a delay there, and that sounded like you were saying something completely different. I'm like, oh, we were talking about TV shows. I don't care what you do outside of that. I'm just asking about TV shows. Hopefully the delay's not there in the.
that's great. It probably is. If you heard it, it is. You're recording, so that'll be
Yeah.
great. So
All right. That's right. Keep it moving.
That's on in the background. I'm listening to a lot of podcast episodes right now, actually, like walking around and like in my house or driving, and even like going to bed at night. Like I have I'm knee deep into this one particular podcast right now. So I guess instead of TV shows, I'm listening to, it's called Fundamental Health. You've heard of it. It's with this doctor, Dr. Paul Saladino. He's huge on the animal-based diet. That's the new thing I'm doing right now. I'm 3 weeks into it, and so it's a new thing for me right now.
This is what happens, people, when we take a couple weeks off from recording with each other. She's dating someone. She's on an animal diet. He's not quite out of the lube yet, but she's making her way through the container. A lot of stuff's changed for you. Look at you.
I know. So yeah, I can go down a rabbit hole talking about that. That could be like a whole nother separate episode. But yeah, so that's my new TV show, I guess, in quotation marks. That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have not heard of that podcast. It sounds too smart for me, I'll be honest with you.
I'm a huge nerd when it comes, like, he talks about everything that happens in your body down to the cell membrane when you put certain foods in your body.
Okay.
I'm a huge nerd. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I can't stop listening to it. It's like a train wreck. Like, you just can't stop watching. It's like,
but see, that's what, like I said earlier about the whole massage thing, that's why, like, that your mind is just geared towards those types of things, right? Like the way things work and all of that. So that makes sense. My mind is not.
Anything that has to do with the body, how your body operates, whether it's like just your skeletal muscles or whatever, or on the inside of you, I'm just obsessed. So
did you ever go to that body museum?
Yes, in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, they had one that came to Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by Cal Expo. And I forgot what class I was taking at Sac State. I was taking a class at Sac State, and or maybe it was Sierra. I can't remember, but whatever class it was, they were giving extra credit if you attended this thing, and it's very bizarre.
Yes, I went to one year, like probably 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. So it's been a while since I've seen, but I went to one in Vegas. It was super fascinating. Very cool. Now that I like even more so am into it, I would love to go back to see one of those again, because I'm learning about anatomy in massage school. So that would be good timing. You
see Deb getting kicked out because she's massaging the corpses. It's like, how's that feel? Like, what is she doing? Don't touch the exhibit.
Touch the body. But okay, so that's my TV show is that podcast. Do you have are you watching anything right now?
Yeah, well, so my wife and I just finished The Bear season 2. Have you seen it?
I've seen season 1. I don't know if I think I started season 2 or I haven't finished it yet, but okay.
It's really good.
Did it just come out season 2? Is that new?
Yeah, within the last month or two, I think.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I've seen it yet.
Last month, yeah. No, definitely it was within the last month, yeah. But yeah, it was great. They released all 10 episodes, which was cool. So we just kind of made our way through a couple episodes each night. And yeah, it's a really cool show. And a lot of stuff, you know, I feel like both season 1 and 2 had that one episode that everybody was talking about. And um, yeah, this season, that one episode didn't disappoint. It was a pretty wild ride, especially when it comes to like the family dynamics and relationships and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, they just do some cool stuff. See, that's what you're listening to the podcast about the body, you know, the plant-based diet, all that stuff. I'm listening to like these comedy podcasts or podcasts about like TV shows, you know what I mean? And them breaking that stuff down. Like I love that stuff. That's the way my mind works. I could not tell you, I struggle with like those science classes and math classes. Like my mind, what is that, whatever side, left or right? It doesn't matter because it's not there. Like I'm convinced that like that side of my brain, it's like it doesn't even not just work. It's just not there. I think I only have half a brain.
Hey,
So
that's the same thing for me in like like Tetris engineering stuff, how to fit things in space. Yeah, no, I don't know if that's a female thing, but that's in business. Anytime anyone talks about business, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. So
that's gonna be a problem for you coming up soon here.
I'm gonna have to teach myself. I know. That's always well. When I was a personal trainer, I didn't understand the business side either. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So this will be interesting. This will be very fun.
Well, and like we've talked about before, at some point we want this thing to make money. If you guys can give us more 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts, it'd be fantastic. We've been stuck at 22 ratings forever. 22. That's kind of shameful. So help us out. Give us a 5-star rating and review, and then maybe we can turn this into some kind of business. I don't know, but yeah, we're kind of counting on you, Deb, to know some of that stuff because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, I'll try to learn. That's what Google's for and YouTube is for.
Oh, trust me, I have a lot of tabs open on my phone. Which we got new phones a little while ago, and those tabs went away. Not thrilled with that.
Yeah, because you can't recover that.
No, you can't. There might be a way, but it's too late now. Those tabs are gone, and I was very upset.
Maybe you'll find newer, better stuff.
Yeah, probably not. You know, it's for me. It's probably like I'm looking at the same stuff over and over. Like, oh, this is new information. Nope, I've looked at the article like 6 times. It's like I'm just rereading the same thing and still not understanding it. Shout out to all the people who do that and who love that type of stuff. I don't get it.
It's definitely an art. Kind of like how I love listening to what happens with your LDL cholesterol and how it moves through your epithelial, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I love it, but business stuff, yeah.
Just a preference thing. Yeah. See, that's there. I have no idea what you just said, but it sounded very smart.
Well, you know what? I can't take credit. I'm not that smart. The way he explains it breaks it down. And I have to listen to it a couple of times, but I get it after he explains it. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
But so you can comprehend what he's saying though, after you listen to it. For me, it'd be like,
You're like, whatever.
Cool. But I have no idea what you're saying, but it sounds really smart. And I'm going to tell people I listen to this podcast just to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about, but really I have no clue what's going on here. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go down that rabbit hole another podcast if we want to, and if we can't think of anything else to talk about, I'll go down the animal-based diet rabbit hole.
Sounds good. I'll press record and I'll listen to you.
You can just listen to me go off.
Yeah, just listen to whatever you're saying. Like, oh, that sounds cool. Yeah. I'm gonna probably not follow any of that, but it sounds cool. Yeah. That's how it's gonna go. Yeah. Did you hear about that? One more thing before we get out of here. That
the short one, we did make it to our appointed.
Pretty well. We still have 2 minutes to mess it up, which is probably gonna happen. So we're probably gonna go a little bit over, but that whole situation in Roseville with the escaped convict. He escaped. Did you see any of that?
No. Was this recent?
It was over the weekend. Yeah, there was a guy out in Roseville, I forgot how long ago, but that he was involved in a shooting at a park in Roseville, took a hostage, all this stuff. It was a little while ago. And then this past weekend, he was at a local hospital in Roseville. I'm not going to say the name. Is that a local? You can find this information out. You look it up. But he basically escaped from the hospital, and then he was on the run. So nice. We were kind of out that way as a family, and we saw like all these cop cars along the freeway, a helicopter in the sky. I was like, what is going on? And then my wife found out, oh, this guy escaped. Real
Oh,
fugitive situation. He did not make it very far. His cardio is not great.
oh, okay. So they
Yeah,
caught.
they did catch him. They caught him. Was it yesterday? I mean, it was about, was it 24 hours? He was gone for a minute for sure. He was gone for a minute. But yeah, when they showed, where he left, where like, the hospital that he left, and then where he ended up, did not make it super far. So I don't know, it's tough. Like, I don't know what you do in that situation. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, well, you follow the cop cars. You get in, you see where the action is. I'm just kidding. Don't
Yeah.
listen.
Oh, I'm sure that happened
I'm
plenty
so
of times.
nosy. I feel like, what is happening over here?
Oh no, I'm sure that happened at a certain point. You probably had people out there looking for the guy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe this isn't your job. Maybe you shouldn't do this. Leave it to the professionals.
Well, I missed it then. Well, that was
Okay.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was it was a big thing out this way. Maybe it wasn't as big over in your area, but yeah, it's on the news a little bit.
Well, like I'm so bad at listening to the news. I get all my news information from my friends or my coworkers. So they must have missed it too. I blame them.
Which would make sense because I get all my information from my wife because I'm
I
terrible.
know.
Unless it like has to do with like who are the Giants trading for this deadline? That's definitely like I got the answers, but um anything that's probably truly meaningful, I just wait for her to say something. And if she doesn't say it, then I'm assuming it's not that big of a deal.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Are you almost done with summer school?
I have one more week. I'm almost
And
done.
then when do you start back with real school?
August 7th, whatever Monday that is, we go back to work and then we don't have kids until that Thursday.
That's my birthday, actually. That would suck if I was a kid, because I went through my entire school career without having to go to school on my birthday. That would bum me out.
Low on the first, your birthday's on the first day back at school. Ew.
I might cry. I mean, I'm serious. I'm like, this sucks. This can't get any worse. First day of school, I don't want to be here. And on my
Right.
birthday? No, no good. Luckily, I got to avoid that my whole life.
It's nice.
It is nice.
Mine has always been, so mine's November 16th and it's always a week before Thanksgiving. And it's never quite made it on the week of Thanksgiving break. It's always
Just
it's like either the Friday before break, and then it goes into it's never, yeah, it just doesn't happen.
interesting.
It's 8 days out from the 24th or whatever Thursday. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's not on a day, it's on a Thursday. Wow. Just cut that whole part out.
You know, it's sad. I like that makes sense.
You all just saw my brain processing all that just now as I said it out loud.
That's basically what we do every week, right? We put our both of our brain processing out there for the world to hear. Not the whole world. It's a very small amount of people that listen to this podcast, but still they hear how our minds work, and for better or worse, that's what happens.
They still listen, so they must enjoy it.
Or they feel bad for us. It's like, well, someone's got to listen to this stupid podcast. We'll throw them a download. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I think we've hit a wall here. This is what happens. We had nothing to say this time. Deb rushed in to make it to this podcast. We're doing this earlier than normal.
It's summer catch up episode, whatever.
Yeah, it's all good. So we'll get back on it, people. So
Yeah.
Deb, where can they follow us? I just want to say this too. Your shirt looks brand new. Is that a new shirt?
It's new-ish. It's the Sheldon High School distance carnival shirt. So Deb, the other Deb, she's the coach, and so she orders new shirts every year, and she always gets like neon colors, and I always request pink. So I think this is the newest one.
It's very bright. Looks like a brand new shirt.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm like a highlighter right now.
Yep. Pink shirt, red hair.
Neon
Yep.
pink. Yep.
Yeah, neon pink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Neon.
you know what? One thing before we get out of here, I'm just going to put this out there for the world. So I recently found that in Roseville, there's going to be a dodgeball tournament in August. Would you be interested in playing dodgeball?
Oh geez, in August,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
All right, that's all I wanted to know. I just want to put it out there for the world to hear. I'm not even sure if I'm going to do it, but I love that stuff. I haven't competed in something for a little while. Like I have like that itch. So you're a PE teacher.
Yeah, but I haven't like thrown anything competitively in years. I gotta like warm up now. Gotta like get my arm ready.
That's okay. Just here's the thing.
Oh,
Throw
my
your
arm.
arm out and then
Yeah.
have one of your massage buddies fix it. It's fine. You're kind of in the best position to do this now.
Just get fixed like that. Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think about it, Deborah. I'll bring it back up at some point.
You got it.
Actually, I'm just kidding. I don't want Deborah to play. I just want Deb to play. Deborah sounds like she sucks at dodgeball. Debbie sounds like she doesn't even know what dodgeball is. Deb sounds like she's a beast. Is that accurate?
Very accurate.
There we go. Okay, so I'm only talking to Deb right now. We'll talk about it. We'll see.
We'll see if you still want me on the team. Okay. All right,
No,
cool.
I want you on the team. Here's the difference. This is not like fantasy football. Fantasy football, we need a 10th person. It's like, I guess Deb will work because we ran out of options. This one is like, you're an athlete. Like, I know this would be a good fit, I think.
Is it, well, obviously it's co-ed if you're.
No, I was gonna have you dress like a man. This is my friend Dan. Dan McCollum.
Give me
Yeah. There you go. Which, yeah, there you go. And then you cut your hair, let it get all poofy, like you said, like a cotton ball. We could sell it. No, it is co-ed. Yeah, my wife would play. And then,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Let me
And then
think.
beyond that, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just tossing it out there. I'm just putting a feeler out there, seeing what you thought. I'm not getting a lot of confidence from you. And I feel like this is going to be a no eventually, but we toss it out there. So
If I can start throwing things and warming my arm up, then we'll see.
okay, perfect.
Right.
So if anybody's listening to this and you know Deb, ask her to play catch and help me out. Okay. Cool. Well, on that note, Deb, where can they follow us?
You guys can follow us on Twitter at Connectable Pod and then all other social media at Connectable Podcast. Boom.
There we go. And then please leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We would definitely appreciate it. It helps us to be more visible to people that are on those platforms. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's all we've got. So we will see you guys next week. See ya.
Peace.
Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable Podcast.